Alrighty, time to listen up. We need to quickly talk about one of the biggest unsolved mysteries in the entire FNAF franchise. Old Man Consequences. Why am I talking about Old Man Consequences in 2024? Well, there is two reasons. One, I actually did a poll on my YouTube and it's what everybody wanted to see. But number two, it is because Old Man Consequences ties directly into one of my previous most controversial theories. And I don't feel that theory's got enough attention, so, as a spoiler, go watch it up in the eye. But first, to work out who is Old Man Consequences and what is Old Man Consequences, we need to look at the appearances. Old Man Consequences first appears in FNAF World, where the player approaches him, presumably fishing by a lake, and he says thus: "I'm sorry to say, you've gone too deep into the code. There is no way back out." So nobody really thought much of this at the time, and we thought we were just going through sub-levels and this was a bit of an Easter egg. But honestly, I think there's a lot more to it. I believe that Old Man Consequences, even in his first appearance in FNAF World, is the same character, and this is him just saying, "You've come down to my level. This is the baseline of code where I am. There is no way out. We cannot get out. Join me. Fish for a while." Flash forward, and Old Man Consequences' next appearance is in Ultimate Custom Night, where a similar series of events take place. However, we once again see Old Man Consequences fishing by the lake. Once we talk to him, his tone has changed a little bit. He says a few cryptic things, but most notably he says, "Leave the demon to his demons. Rest your own soul. There is nothing else." Now, before we get on to Help Wanted, we have to address the fact that FNAF World and Ultimate Custom Night, as games, it's pretty heavily theorized out there, and it's a theory I subscribe to, that they are both worlds that are created. Ultimate Custom Night is created by the one you should not have killed, Cassidy, whoever you want that to be, the Golden Freddy, a world created within William's mind to torture William. FNAF World, in a similar vein, I believe, is a world created by Charlotte Emily, in order to assist the souls and keep them at peace before they move on, so that they are no longer in agony and no longer being tortured. It is her protective way of looking after the other souls. Now, if we have two sort of fabricated worlds, if you will, Old Man Consequences appearing in both of them is very interesting. And even in FNAF World, referring to these created words as "you've gone too far into the code," that says to me that either there is some AI at play or it's just a funny turn of phrase. Either way, putting the semantics on the fence for the moment, I believe that the connection between the two says that this is the same character, it is the same Old Man Consequences, and his vernacular between both implies to me that he is talking to two different people. In FNAF World, he's simply talking to someone and saying, "Look, you've come too far. You know, we've gone too far. You just need to sit here and chillax with me." And that is how I believe he would talk to the player. "You've gone too far. You know, you're a restless soul. Come, relax. We can just chill out together in this world that my daughter has created." And that would be the accurate representation of how Charlotte would have seen Henry, would have seen her father. So you probably picked up what I'm putting down here, that I subscribe to the very popular theory that Old Man Consequences is Henry. I'm not going to go over the old ground and the old evidence. There is 1.5 million videos on YouTube about that already. Do go watch them. I won't bore you with the details again. But in saying that Henry is Old Man Consequences and that he's the one that appears to Charlotte in FNAF World, adversely, he would be the one to appear again in Ultimate Custom Night to Cassidy. Now, it's not exactly to Cassidy, it would more be to William as the player, I suppose. However, the scene itself is a little Golden Fredbear, and it's almost like he's talking to Freddy. If he was talking to William, the dialogue would be completely different, saying, "Leave the demon to his demons." This is clearly talking to the one you should not have killed, to Cassidy, whoever it may be, and it's clearly talking about William. I don't think there's any arguing that. And in doing so, this would also be a reflection on how Cassidy views Henry, a wise person, as somebody who can give advice and say, leave the demon to his demons. Whether this is a physical representation of Henry or just a manifestation of Golden Freddy's memory of Henry, either way, I believe there is a Henry element in there. Now we flash forward to Help Wanted 2. We skim over Security Breach for the moment, and we flash forward to Help Wanted 2, where Old Man Consequences, better known as the King in the Princess Quest games, is actually labelled in the game files as OMC. It's nailed on. Like, that's as nailed on as FNAF lore gets, that this is Old Man Consequences, one and the same. In contrast to that, we have Cassidy. We have the princess, who is also labelled in the game files as Cassidy. So we have Cassidy being the princess, literally a golden princess, and we have Henry being a representation in the form of a king in Old Man Consequences. Now, if you've seen my previous theories, you know exactly where I'm going with this. Why would Henry be helping Golden Freddy throughout these games? Why would he be appearing to Charlotte in FNAF World and then randomly in Ultimate Custom Night to Golden Freddy? What possible reason could Henry have for hanging around in digital form, in whatever form it is, to keep giving advice? Why would this be happening time and time again? Why would there be a princess and a king? Well, I've said it before. What is the relationship between a princess and a king? It is a father and a daughter. That is where I'm going with this, and that is what my previous theory is about, and that is why we're talking about Old Man Consequences today. Because I believe that not only is Old Man Consequences Henry, I believe that Cassidy, Golden Freddy, is Henry's child. As you saw in my other theory that was up in the eye, it ties so much of the lore together if Cassidy is Henry's child, and moreover, it just makes sense. We're literally being told that King, Princess, Old Man Consequences, Cassidy, there's so much connective tissue there that I think it's almost as nailed on as any lore can get in FNAF. There is not even really a leap of faith in there. I will shout this from the rooftops. This is a theory that I've held on to for a few months. I'm not seeing anybody else talk about it. I've put a few videos out there and they haven't garnered traction. So if you believe that I am correct, do let me know in the comments below, and do share this with anybody who you think is a FNAF expert, because I would like to tug on this thread even more and see where it goes. I've done that twice already now, but I think it's pretty good. And I think that solves our lore about Old Man Consequences. And I think it solves a lot of the bloody game lore. Oh, P.S. One more piece of evidence that I completely forgot about until I pulled my screen up before. In FNAF World, when you get the Old Man Consequences Happiest Day ending, and you get a screen, which I'll put up here somewhere, of a man, presumably a man, sitting with two children. Nobody knew what that meant until now. It makes perfect sense. You have Henry, you have Cassidy, you have Charlotte. It's called Happiest Day. They are all reunited together because in this ending, they've left the demon to the demons, so to speak. And this is them all together, all happy on their happiest day as a family. And you know why they're the same size? Because they're twins, which ties back into the silver eyes of Sammy and Charlie. It all makes sense. Tell me I'm wrong.